I banned my in-laws from my delivery room and they had a complete meltdown. So I just gave birth 2 weeks ago, and my relationship with my in-laws has always been rocky. They own a business with my husband Mike and see him every single day for work, but they're constantly jealous that we spend more time with my parents on weekends. Here's the thing though, my parents and I are super close, and last year I battled cancer before getting pregnant. It was terrifying, and my parents were with me through every surgery and treatment. This baby is literally a miracle after everything we went through. When I found out I needed to be induced for medical reasons, my mother-in-law Sarah started making these comments about how she understood I'd probably want my mom there, but she was available whenever I needed her. I thought she was being supportive, but I should have seen the red flags. Induction day comes and both sets of grandparents show up at the hospital. The hospital had strict rules about only 2 visitors, plus your support person in the labor room, and you couldn't switch people out during labor. Since I was going to be in a vulnerable state for hours, I chose my parents and my husband. I labored for 12 hours, then had to have an emergency C-section at 2 inches the morning. Mike's parents had gone back to their hotel, but my parents stayed because they were worried about me. After surgery, we were in recovery around 2 a.m. when my parents asked if they could see me for just a minute. They came back for literally 5 minutes. My mom just wanted to make sure I was okay after the surgery. Then they left to let me rest. We didn't even think to mention it to Mike's parents because it wasn't a big deal. The next morning, I was stuck in recovery for 9 hours because I needed extra monitoring. Once we finally got moved to the regular room around noon, I was exhausted and emotional. I told Mike my parents could come at 12:30 and his parents could come at 2. Just a 2-hour difference so I could have some time to recover. My parents show up right on time, and we're having this sweet moment with the baby when Mike gets a text that his parents are also in the lobby. My parents immediately offered to leave so they could come up instead. Mike goes downstairs to get them, and when he gets to the lobby, his mom is already walking out the door. She starts sending him these insane texts calling herself a second-class citizen and saying she'll just meet the baby next year since we clearly don't want her there anyway. His dad tells Mike that he doesn't agree with his wife, but he has to support her, so he's not coming up either. Then they tell Mike to lie to me and say his mom got sick. Mike came back upstairs crying, like actually sobbing, because he couldn't believe his parents were doing this during such an important moment. The stress they caused us in those first few hours with our baby was unbelievable. But here's the craziest part. They started claiming we were lying about the hospital visitor rules, even though you can literally Google them. They also complained about not being in the delivery room, even though they had never asked to be there and had actually said they understood why I'd want my parents. Sarah had to schedule emergency therapy sessions to deal with the situation. They finally met the baby a week later, and it was awkward as hell. Mike wanted to cut them out completely, but I convinced him to try to work things out for the baby's sake. All of this drama over waiting 2 extra hours to meet their grandchild. Some people really know how to make everything about themselves.